Welcome to practice 1 of rounding with whole numbers. In this practice, we are going to take the number 1,253,678 and we are going to round it to the nearest hundreds place. So you can get your piece of paper and something to write with, and you can write this number down in the top left part of your paper just like I did. Remember, you can pause this video at any time that you feel like you need to, or if I'm going too fast. And I want to encourage you that if you know another way of rounding, to really try to understand this way and why rounding works the way it does. So on your paper, we're going to go ahead and draw our number line. And I like to turn my paper horizontally so that I have more room for my number line. You can do yours however you'd like. And as I said earlier, we are going to be rounding to the hundreds place. So the number that's in the hundreds place in 1,253,678 is the 6, and that has a value of 600. So since that has a value of 600, I am going to write the 600 as my smallest number that this 6 could possibly round to. All right. And then I know that if I add another 100, if I'm talking about my hundreds place and I go up one more 100 from 600, that is going to be 700. So I know that I am either going to round this 6 in the hundreds place to either 600 or 700. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to think, well, what is the difference between the two numbers on my number line? So I have a 600 and I have a 700. The difference between 600 and 700 is 100. All right. So I know that my number line spans a distance of 100 numbers. 600 to 700 is 100 difference. So then the next thing I need to do is I need to think, well, what is exactly halfway between 600 and 700? What is halfway between 100? Well, half of 100 is 50. So I know 50 plus 50 equals 100. So that would mean that halfway between 600 and 700, 600 plus 50 is 650. All right. Some of you might be thinking, yeah, I knew that. I could have done that in my head. I really like the idea of showing our work because this gives us a visual way to see why we round to, whenever we're rounding to a certain place value, why we round that number the way that we do. So looking at the rest of my numbers, 678, I'm going to think, where would 678 fall on this number line? Where would I put 678 on this number line? Well, I know it's not going to be between 600 and 650. So I know that it's going to fall somewhere a little closer to 700, but somewhere in here. And it doesn't need to be perfect, 678. But all that this tells me is that 678 is going to actually be closer to 700. So I was rounding to the hundreds place. I'm going to round to that 700, and that makes my final answer 1,253,700. And it's really important that whenever you are rounding to a certain place value, you know you did it right when you have your zeros filling in those place values that are behind or smaller than the place value you were rounding to.